Surrey Central. All right, what is happening in Surrey Central as of right now? That's what I'm covering today. How much inventory is there? How much more inventory is coming? And what that means for people who own condos in Surrey Central. So currently, right now, time of recording, it is April 29th. Conservatives just lost the election yesterday, so I was at the gym this morning. I can tell you spirits were not high at the gym whatsoever. People are literally like, well, what now? What do we do? I don't know. Anyways, 741 condos are currently on the market in Surrey Central. 741. And if we look at the inventory, we were at 709 to end March, so we're an extra 32 homes on the market. I wish somebody had some insight for me as to what happened in July of 2025 or July 2005. Why did we gain 700 condo listings for like 3 months in 2005 and it came all the way back down? I would love to know how the hell this happens. But regardless, we're at 741 on the market, 709 last month, so still rising. And here's the thing with Surrey Central, okay? We have completing Holland 2 just completed. That's a concrete tower, probably 300 something units. We have Flamingo coming up in the next couple months. That should be another 300 something units. And then we have Plaza 1 and Plaza 2 at King George Hub. That's probably, another 700 units between those two. I can't think of anything else. There's probably like a low rise somewhere in there, right? So we have, another probably over 1,000 units completing in Surrey Central in the next couple months. And I'm actually listing, I shouldn't say too much, but I can tell you that in this Plaza 1, at least, there a lot of the people who bought in there would have put down a 20% deposit. They paid way lower prices. Like, the one beds in there were like low 400,000s. Two beds were probably like mid fives, right? So they paid way lower prices than pretty much everything else that is completing. And why that could be an issue is that pretty much all of them are going to close, right? Because if they put down 20% deposit, they have, a substantial amount of equity. The appraisal shouldn't be a problem because, they're not down on their investment. They've got the equity there. So pretty much all of them should complete, in theory, right? But they've also got enough, margin or enough profit in that purchase that they can sell lower than everybody else and still get out break even or even make a little bit of money. So pretty much all the pre-sales that have been completing, like in the last 2 years, everybody's been losing money, right? So, and the thing is, when people lose money in real estate, they typically don't accept their loss, right? They'll just rent it out and wait 2 or 3 years, or they'll move into it, or they'll do whatever they can to hold on to the asset and not take that loss, right? And this has kind of been keeping prices propped up. Like you can see it everywhere in the comments, how stubborn sellers are. Nobody wants to take the loss. And this is what's kind of been keeping prices up, right? Well, now you have like 700 units completing where the people who bought these have enough profit in that purchase to sell at lower prices and still make money, right? So you have a bunch of inventory on the market. You have a whole bunch of inventory coming. And for the first time in a while, you have a bunch of sellers who can actually sell at lower prices and still make money. So that could be a problem for Surrey Central going forward. I mean, the sales to actives ratio is already at 8%. You have an 8% chance of selling your condo in Surrey Central. If you compare that to let's just say Langley, like a Langley condo, right? Langley is like 4 times higher at 23%. It is 4 times easier to sell a condo in Langley than it is in Surrey Central right now. Now, I get a question all the time, right? Because I'll have buyers that are looking in the price band of because the pain isn't going to be spread across the same everywhere, right? I have buyers that are looking like under 400,000, right? Most of the inventory coming to market isn't going to be inventory that's under 400,000. Right? Like I don't see a lot of pain ahead for a condo that's priced at like 380K, right? Like if the prices go down substantially, maybe that condo is worth like 360. But, at the end of the day, I don't think there's going to be like a colossal repricing of condos that are under 400K. It's a lot of like, the one bedrooms that are priced at 470, 480, like 500,000. Like I think those have some room to come down in Surrey Central, but maybe not the condos that are priced around that 400K, right? I think it's gonna be really hard to get those to come down any further, right? Like I have a buyer kind of looking in that range right now, and we realistically had like two options for a good quality unit. But yeah, I mean, as of right now, there's 700 condos on the market. That's excluding all of the developers that have product right now that are trying to sell their product, right? And I can probably think of, just off the top of my head, probably 11 or 1200 units in Surrey Central that are, just off market trying to be sold as pre-sale shadow inventory. And then there's a whole bunch of assignments. There's a whole bunch of little low rises here and there. And just completing in the next couple months, we probably have over 1,000 units. And I'm willing to bet, maybe not all 1,000, but like, of the ones kind of in that King George hub area, most of the people who bought those are going to sell because they can get their full 20% back and then some. Rents are lower now. A lot of people won't want to rent their units out. A lot of people just want to take their money and invest in something else, right? So, and they've got the profit margin to be able to sell it lower than pretty much everybody else and get their money back and not take a loss, right? So that could cause prices to come down pretty sharply in Surrey Central. But again, I'm just guessing. We're going to have to see what happens. If you want to chat with me about buying or selling in Surrey Central, use the link down below to book a call. I'm that Agent Kelly. I'm making moves to move you. Peace.